Hey guys, welcome to yet another episode of the Brokerpreneur podcast. I am Dr. Ben Spears, the ambassador of Flow. I'm here as usual with the big guy, Matt Vi. How's it going, Matt?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I got to throw something out there about the big guy, though.
Okay.
Right. So we were sick. Right. We had the vid.
Yep.
So I was laid up. We were sleeping, trying to rest as much as you can because that's a big thing. You're just exhausted. But I got a chance to watch some videos on Sasquatch.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. There's a couple of YouTube things and a couple of other things. I don't know what it is about a Sasquatch, man.
Any clues that you didn't know before that you can share with us? Like if some of our listeners were out there hunting.
I'm so torn. So torn, right? It seems like such a load of bullshit. And then every now and again, you'll just hear somebody that's got this story that's just so compelling. And you're like, okay, God dang it. I thought I completely ruled it out. Yeah. And then all of a sudden something pops up and you're like, wait a minute, maybe there is just some missing link out there still that, is half bear, half whatever the hell it is. I don't even know.
Yeah. Half Matt.
Yeah. yeah, there is that. But I'm still leaning on the no way in hell side. Yeah. But I will throw out there that the no way in hell side was exactly how I was leaning, about the 3 years ago before all this UFO stuff came out as well. I don't know if you're looking at any of that or not.
No, I'm not.
It's like all of a sudden everybody's going, oh yeah, there's a UFO. Yeah, of course there's UFOs. Yeah. Government's like, oh, there's UFOs. There's a Tic Tac that goes 8 billion miles an hour, right? And I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me with all this right now? I was so dead set and convinced that none of it mattered and there was no such thing as UFOs and Bigfoot didn't exist. And now in a foggy fever, I watch some videos and now there might be Bigfoot.
Well, at least something productive came out of all.
Yeah, right. I don't know if I can call that productive.
So, Matt, we got a good podcast today.
Of course.
Right? This one, this one's. I'm trying to segue into it a little bit here.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't need to even do segues because my podcast is different, like from those other podcasts.
Yeah.
I can just jump right into whatever I want to talk about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's such a. It always bothers me whenever people say that. Right, my business is different.
Yeah,
you hear people talk, and I can remember being in broker council meetings, and I remember when they were trying to get digital MLS and get rid of the books and electronic lock boxes and all that kind of stuff. Right, and everybody stood up and said the same shit, right? My business is a little bit different than the rest of you guys because no, it's not, right? There are some things that are specific, okay? Granted, that doesn't mean your business is so much different that you got to throw all the rest of this stuff out. And even then, it bothered me, and we're going to dig in today on why it bothered me and how you need to look at it.
Yeah, I like that a lot. So, guys, wherever you listen to this, make sure you hit that follow button, that subscribe button. There's no better time than the present than to go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. You need to remember how to spell it. Look down at your phone or device, whatever you're looking at. You may be listening to this on brokerpreneurpodcast.com.
Yep, could be.
I really like the sound of that.
Yep. Sign
up for our weekly recruiting newsletter. Put my heart and soul to that, guys, just for you, every single week. And I'd love to get some feedback from absolutely every listener that we have, saying that, gosh, I love this. Can you put a little bit more of that? Can you take a little bit less of that? Hey, it's just too funny. Ben, it's just too funny. I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to change that, though. And learn a little bit more of, what it is that you guys need to hear, for your business. So, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm going to call bullcrap, man.
All right.
Right? Like, everybody's businesses is so... They're just so special.
Right.
It's like
everybody's different.
My kid...
That's
my
right.
kid, he doesn't need that. He's different. He's special.
Right.
It's
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's exactly what it is. Here's what really happens. Okay. Yeah. And I think if everybody's being honest with themselves, maybe this is what they would acknowledge. And if you think your business is completely different, oh, absolutely, I'd love to hear from you. Right? If you're not a client, and you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, Matt, you're full of shit. Everybody's different. And I can tell you why. I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
So just set up a time and let you and I talk. Here's what's really happening. Go back and look at any time someone said my business is different, whether you, and I've done this, right? So it's not like, it's not like I'm pointing the finger at everybody else. I've done this until I realized what I was doing. What you're basically saying is, I don't want to listen anymore.
Yeah.
I'm stopping listening right now. Right. So think about that example I gave just a second ago. These people stood up in the middle of, meetings and were saying, hey, look, electronic lock boxes aren't going to work, or you don't understand electronic lock boxes well enough. They're going to work, and my business is different, and that's why we need them in my business. What they're literally saying is, I don't want to listen anymore. Sometimes they're saying I have enough information where I want to decide.
Yeah.
Right. That's why they're doing that. That's typically not the case. What they're basically saying is, I don't want to take on any more information. I don't want to take anything else on. I'm going to shut down the listening. And when they shut down the listening, you're also shutting down the options of being able to solve other problems. Okay.
Yeah.
So here's what I mean by that. If you can say some of what I struggle with in my business is unique, okay, that's fantastic. Let's say that. When you do that, you're continuing to listen. You're continuing to keep your mind open, and you might hear something that doesn't have anything to do with that conversation, but that can actually help you with other parts of what you're trying to accomplish in your business. You follow me?
Yep.
So when you say, oh, my business is different, you're basically shutting it down in a way that's not going to allow you to get any of the benefit out of what is being said.
Yeah.
So, but if you go, listen, I've got some unique things. I want to hear what you're saying because, I realize that, 80% of business is the same from, and only 20% is different trade to trade. I realize that the fundamentals of business are the same. So I want to hear what you have to say and see if there's anything that I can use that can actually help me in one of those phases of business. If you look at it like that, what they're talking about might not fit for you. Completely agree.
Right.
But they're going to say something, you're going to be like, holy crap, I might be able to use that in another piece of what I do.
Yeah.
And the only reason that's available to you is because you continued listening. And that's because you didn't give yourself that opportunity to say, my business is different. I don't have to hear anymore.
Yeah. And, and it takes us to our next point. Misery loves company.
Yep.
And, as soon as you stop listening.
Yep.
And you cross your arms.
Mm-hmm.
I think about Emmett. Emmett crosses his arms. Makes a mad face. That kind of thing. I know very soon that if I go back to him and I say, "Hey, do you know why you're in trouble?
Right.
You know what happened?" The excuses are getting ready to just flow
Yep.
like a waterfall out
That's
of that
right.
mouth.
That's right.
And that's exactly what happens
right.
in these scenarios as well.
Yep. Yeah. And what he's basically saying is, I dealt with this because my situation is completely unique.
Yeah.
And so what people try to do is they start justifying how their situation is completely unique.
Yeah.
Right. And so what happened is their perception, which is unique, right? No two people's perceptions are the exact same. We know that, right?
Yeah.
Because no two people's life experiences are the exact same.
Yeah.
So the perception is different. That means that the excuse is a little bit different. How you see things a little bit different. Absolutely. Are things unique? Yes. But that doesn't mean that you should allow the excuses to stop you from hearing and understanding the things that are similar.
Yeah.
Because everyone's problems are unique, that means they're all the same.
Yes, exactly. Right.
Right? And so that means that if you go, well, mine is so unique that there's no way we could ever come up with it because my life experience is unlike anything that has ever been seen before, right? What you're basically saying is, I give up. Uncle, I quit.
Yeah.
I'm done. There's nothing else I can do. You don't understand that the problem has to solve itself because it's so much bigger than everything else.
Yeah.
And that's just not the truth.
Yeah.
Problems come from the same construct of perception, that the differentiation that allows you, that whenever you talk to somebody and you have a conversation, that differentiate allows you to understand where they're coming from, is also going to be the same thing that allows you to solve that problem.
Yeah.
So it opens the door when you say, my business is different than anything else, it opens the door to excuses.
Yeah.
And it allows you to justify them.
Yep. And then that brings us to the next thing we're talking about, which is, I'm just going to talk about missing opportunities.
Yep.
Hey guys, this podcast is powered by Prospect Boomerang.
We all know broker owners struggle with profitability. Prospect Boomerang compounds your profits by recruiting the best agents to your brokerage.
For consistent growth, visit prospectboomerang.com.
Yeah. Yeah, when you're when you say my business is different and you start shutting down, right? You quit hearing things that are going to open up other opportunities.
Yep.
So this might seem a little contradictory, okay? But I need people to lean into this and really hear this, okay? There's a difference between saying my business is different than anything else, so this isn't going to work, and my business has differentiators.
Okay.
Okay. When you say my business has differentiators, that means that you're looking at opportunity in things.
Yeah.
When you say my business is different, this isn't going to work because my business is different than anything else. What that's basically saying is the almost endless amount of opportunities that's available in the solution that's being given. Those are all being shut down unless you can say, okay, there's some differentiation here. There's a way that there's opportunity in this that's going to allow me to understand my problem in a way that I can solve it. You have to be able to look at the opportunity in the differentiation instead of looking at the differentiation that's something that's stopping the opportunity.
Yeah.
And any time that I've been in a room, a business room, seminars, training, coachings that I've had, any of that kind of stuff, and people say, well, my business is different. There's not a time that I remember them saying in this context, yeah, my business is different, and what you're saying, because my business is different than how you're explaining this opportunity or this solution, I can really see how I can use it somewhere else in my business. I don't remember ever hearing that.
Yeah.
I always heard it as my business is different, and that's like almost the end of the sentence. And the end of the sentence is my business is different. And if they started another sentence,
yeah,
that's right. And if they started another sentence, it was about this doesn't work because is what they might as well have said.
Yeah.
And so if you're honest with yourself and you go, okay, there's a differentiation here. And the differentiation is their problem is specific to how they're presenting this, but I have other problems that I'm looking at it that are not the same problems as theirs because the perception's not the same.
Right.
But if I take what they're saying and I realize that I have differentiation in my business, they're going to be able to, with the solution that they're offering me, they're going to be able to help me solve my problem.
Yeah.
If people would just look at it that way, here's the other. Let me say this fun thing before I forget, right? Because I'm still a little foggy, so I got to throw things out there. That's why we're all over the place today. So when people are in a room, the next time you hear someone say, my business is different, or that's not going to work for me because that my business it doesn't work that way. Ask them what is their biggest problem in their business, and they're going to try to explain to you that their biggest problem in their business is it is unlike anyone else's. What that means is that they have not figured out their problem yet.
Yeah.
And they are doomed until they figure that out.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start saying my business is different and allowing that to be the excuse and thinking that you cannot differentiate because of that, you're dooming yourself to the pattern, the cyclical pattern of failure that you're in right now.
Yeah.
You got to quit saying that. People have to stop saying my business is different than everybody else's. What they have to say instead is I have some unique problems, but solutions that have created, that have stimulated, or situations that have stimulated solutions for other people will stimulate solutions for me as well.
Yeah. And if you just got to say my business is different, say this is going to work.
Right.
Because my business is different.
Right. Yeah. Look at it. Look, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Just change the way that you
100%
that you're framing it.
Great point.
Right? Just don't ever use my business is different as an excuse
to stop listening or to make excuses.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yep.
So guys, before we get to that action item,
yep.
If you're listening to this on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Deezer, any of those platforms, make sure you hit that follow button. If you happen to be watching us on YouTube, hello.
What's up?
And hit that red subscribe button, that bell right beside it. You get notified every time we drop a new episode. If you want to just watch all these things in the same place, go to brokerpreneurpodcast.com. And while you're there, sign up for that weekly recruiting newsletter. We also have a few things there, some downloads that we have available. I think the one that's on the site right now is 3 ways to scale your recruiting.
Yep.
And it's just a free download, so go and take advantage of that as well. Brokerpreneurpodcast.com. Matt.
Yeah, man.
Hit us up with an action item, homie.
Yeah, man. So go back and look. If you say that to yourself a lot, my business is different, my business is unique, that these solutions won't work because of whatever, right? Mm-hmm. Go back and look at your competition. Pick just off the. You can take the top 5 companies if you want. You can take the top 5, whatever it is. Doesn't matter, right? Pick 5 of them. Write down the 5 things that they all have in common.
Yeah.
Right? Or is it their market share? Is it that they're primarily listing companies? Is it that they whatever? Look at the 5 things that they all do similar. Mm-hmm. And look and see. And I would rather people pick the top 5, okay? But they can pick 5 out of 10 or 5 out of 25 or however they want to do it. But if they pick the top 5 and you look at 5 things that are the same between all of them, and you look at yourself, are you as good in those 5 things as they are?
Yep.
What you're going to see is when you look at those 5, when you take and you're putting your list together, the 5 things that they do the same, you're going to notice that almost all 5 of them do those 5 things the same.
Yeah.
So in other words, if you're saying, oh yeah, well, I'm different, I'm differentiating and that doesn't work for me because my business is different. And then you look at that top 5, you're going to realize that they're all constantly recruiting, right? They all have, multiple ways that they provide leads to their agents. You're going to notice that they all do this and they all do that.
Training and tools and CRMs and
right. And so there's going to be a pattern between all of that.
Yeah.
It's important for you to recognize that pattern. I'm not saying you have to go adopt that pattern into your business.
Of course.
That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying you have to recognize that pattern.
Yep. Awesome. Well, Matt.
Yep.
We recognize a lot of patterns.
We do.
And, when we see those patterns, we bring that information straight to this podcast.
We do.
And we do that. We do this whole podcast, really, for one reason and one reason alone. Why is that, man?
It's to put asleep the myth of Bigfoot. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It's because we want to be part of the win.